Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson down at a very snowy Canvey Island, where the Saints have reignited in some ways their promotion bid with a 2-1 win over Concord Rangers. It's been a difficult week for the club, Ian. We kicked off with those 2 defeats, and on Tuesday we had a bailiffs come into the club as well. But we've ended it on a high with a victory, a first away win of the year, and it was very much needed.
Yeah, it was. As I say, it's the 2 defeats last week just set us back a little bit, which was disappointing because, you know, I felt there was points to be gained in them games, which we didn't do. Today we've bounced back well, but for me the last 10 minutes we could have quite easily thrown it away again, and we should have been out of sight really. We should have been done, and Dean's kept us in the game in the last 10 minutes, and that's disappointing because I just felt we needed to be a little bit more organised, a little bit more professional in that last 10 minutes on a difficult pitch, difficult conditions. And the players were magnificent. They put a fantastic work ethic in, got the rewards, got in front, and then unfortunately we nearly gave it away, but fortunately enough we didn't. So it was important 3 points considering last weekend.
There was snow on the pitch before the game. It's snowing again now. There was a strong wind throughout as well. The conditions really were terrible.
Yeah, it was. It was a tough game to be involved in, and as I say, the players, their commitment's been outstanding. And you've got to say well done to Concord for getting the game on. You've got to say well done to the referee for playing it, because I think that pitch is no worse than what it was when we got called off at Hungerford 4 weeks ago. So, you know, well done to everybody, and thankfully we got it on, and thankfully we picked the 3 points up.
Illnesses and injuries, a few changes to the side again?
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, we've lost Antonio through a chest infection, and also Reece Morrell-Williams through a chest infection. So, you know, at one stage this morning when we got the news that them 2 had broken down again, I mean, say again, Antonio's been ill most of the week since Monday. You're thinking in one way, should we get the game off? But as I said all along, I think we've got a decent squad here. You know, we put young Harvey in today. I thought he did well when he came on Monday, and I felt he caused them a lot of problems. He got his goal, he deserved that, and obviously set us on the way to the 3 points.
As mentioned there, Harvey Bradbury got the first goal, and Zane Bantam with deflection got the second. 2 players really that needed a goal. Yeah,
I mean, Harvey, you know, to be fair to him, as I said to his dad on Monday, I think he's been a little bit unlucky because if you go back to the Chelmsford and the Harrogate games, he started both games and he was outstanding for us, and he led the line really, really well. And I think maybe we've just forgot about him a little bit because Mercer's come in and done so well in scoring the 6 goals in the 2 games. But I just felt, looking at the conditions today and the way that we needed to set up a little bit today, that he might be what we needed, and I felt he led the line unbelievably well. He scored a goal. Could have had a couple more. Their keeper's made a couple of really good saves to stop him from maybe getting a hat-trick today, but great for him. As I say, he's come in to play with us, and he probably hasn't had as much time in playing for us as much as what he probably should have thought he'd have got, but today he's done himself no harm whatsoever, and he keeps Charlie Walker and Merce on their toes as well.
That's a double completed over Concord, and we're back up to 4th in the table, 3 points clear of the 8th place club now. Still very tight though.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's going to be probably 4 teams from sort of 7 or 8, and we've got to try and make sure we're one of them, and today helps. I mean, last week didn't help because, you know, if we could have just picked up 3 points last week, you know, we'd be 6 points clear of the 8th place side. So, you know, as I've said before, I'm a little bit disappointed because I feel we should be further on than where we are. Unfortunately, as I've said all along, we are quite a young side, we're quite an experienced side, and at times, you know, we've really only got David Noble and Ben Hurd out there, and it's tough because some of the young kids are still sort of trying to play football in wrong areas. For me, we're trying to scream and shout and do whatever we can to get them to play just such a simple game at times, because the facilities today in terms of the pitch wasn't right for playing football on. So, you know, we've got to play in certain areas, and again today, a bit on Monday, we bring teams onto ourselves by playing in wrong areas. We give the ball in silly areas away, and it allows them to counter-attack us much quicker than what they should do. But as I said, you know, great from the 3 points is the most important thing today, and sometimes you've got to just go and play a little bit ugly and pick up the 3 points, and I felt we did that today.
You mentioned the players put in a shift today. I thought the fans helped you a great deal. What did you think of them?
Yeah, they can do. As I say, I'm really disappointed with the support on Monday at Hungerford. I thought it was disrespectful, the abuse the players themselves and the management took from the crowd on Monday. And I was a little bit down with the crowd today. Yeah, they've been great today. They've reacted really well to the game. But, you know, sometimes some of them have got to realise you're not going to win every game of football, and we have to accept that. And we have to respect the opposition. So, you know, there was a lot of negativity come out Monday night, and the players were really disappointed after the game. I was disappointed, but they were good today. They've done really, really well today. But we need them to be like that every game, Neil. You've already said to me, sometimes at home they're very, very quiet, and they only start get going when we score a goal or we get in front. I mean, we need them on our side at 0-0. We need them when we're behind at times. you know, I understand their frustrations. You know, we want to win every single game, but you can't win every single game. So even when we're having bad times and things are going against us, we need them to be on our side. We need them to be encouraging us. And today they were fantastic for the amount who's turned up, the commitment they've shown to get here in difficult conditions, in snowy conditions, on a freezing cold day. They were fantastic today. But as I say, that I felt on Monday they were disrespectful to me, to the club, and to the players. And you know, as I say, they've got to go a long way to repair some of that damage, because I felt today they were fantastic, but Monday was disrespectful.
And you're going to need them. I mean, it's Western away on Tuesday, but it's back at Clarence Park next Saturday, and the games at home are going to be big in the running now.
They are, because we've got, you know, 9 games to go, 5 away, 4 at home. So, you know, we've got to make, you know, we've got Hampton at home, which is going to be difficult. Paul next week, who, you know, have lost today quite heavily and going to be dragged back in it if they're not careful. And then Whitehawk, who are already in it. So it's going to be tough. And then Braintree are around us. You know, if Braintree beat us, they go level on games with us. So we've got 4 tough home games to go. And yet, you know, we've still got some tough, you know, Bath and Hampton away in the last sort of 3 games with Hampton. It's going to be a tough running. So as we can pick as many points as we can now, it's going to help. And as I say, last week was a bit of a blow, because I felt, you know, if we could have just picked up sort of 3 points out of those 6, 3 points again today. But, you know, we've got to manage it now. We've got 2 tough games coming up. Western's going to be tough. Again, it's, you know, people have got to take afternoons off. People have got to lose half a day's work. And it's hard, you know, it's a hard time for this year, because even up till today we didn't know whether the game was going to be on or be off or be on or be off. And I think it was 3 or 4 times we thought it was going to be off. And then the referee's got to make a decision, and we're hanging around till 12 o'clock before we decide, you know, whether we're going to, you know, leave. We'd already left and we're sitting in areas waiting for the referee to make a decision. Pleasingly enough, the referee's made the right decision, and we managed to get the game on, and we managed to pick up 3 points. But when you've got players travelling from Charlie Walker and people like that, from Farnborough and Kingston and places like that, it is quite a commitment to turn up. And then, as I say, they've got to go again on Tuesday to Western, which isn't the easiest place to get to on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk recently about sort of when should a match be called off, should it be done earlier, and then risk the fact that the pitch might be fine come 3 o'clock, or leave it as late as possible. What's your...
Well, I think it should be really done before. I mean, it's difficult because I think the league rules is you have to have a certain standard of referee who's allowed to call the game off. So you can't just bring a willy-nilly referee in who just makes a decision. So, you know, you have to rely on the opposition, or if we were at home from a referee from a certain standard that can come in and make that decision. But again, it's difficult because I think we're just going through a crazy bit of weather. I think yesterday was 13, 14 degrees. It was nice to get a bit of sun on your back yesterday, and then overnight it turned into this, which is, and being on the coast down here with that howling wind, and it was cold today. It was very, very cold, and as I say, the players have done great to roll their sleeves up, and difficult pitch, couldn't play football on it much at all. In some areas it was ankle deep, but as I say, so pleased that we got it on, so pleased that we've obviously managed to pick the 3 points up, because it's massive at this stage of the season. Now we go into the last 5.5 weeks of the season with 9 games to go and all to play for. And if, as I said last week, if somebody had given us this, then we'd have taken it. But I just feel at some stage we need to just learn at times just to see the game out, just learn to manage the game better than what we've done again today. You know, we've still got this tendency to just want to score every time we get the ball, and everyone wants to bomb forward, and you know, we need to be better than that and a bit more professional than that.
This Western game on Tuesday, Ian, if we win, we've put a big gap between ourselves and them. A draw keeps them away from us. A defeat, and it really does get very, very tight again. Yeah, it does, and as I said before, there's going to be lots of twists and turns. As I said, we don't know who plays what at the moment, because with, you know, for me, I always enjoy it if the more teams are involved in it, because, you know, more there's more on every game that's played if you've got more teams in and around it. And I mean, at the moment, Gloucester are on fire. I think looking at one again 4-0 today, and I think they've taken something like 22 points out of 27. So we've still got to go to Gloucester and play them as well. So it's going to be a tough running, and it's going to be tough. And if we don't pick anything up at Western, that puts them, I think, 4 points behind us again. So we've got to go there first and foremost. Make sure we try and get something out of the game. As I've said all along, if we can win our home games and draw our away games, we'll get in the playoffs. But there you go. You know, you can have a lot of opposition. And I think you've seen enough today from Concord that, you know, yes, they're in a relegation battle, but they've got enough about them to get out of it with the amount of opportunities they created today. We'd like to thank Dean Snedker today for a fantastic performance, because there's been a few games in the last few games where Dean's been at fault for 1 or 2 goals, but I felt today he kept us in the game. Important times he's made sort of 2 or 3 really good saves, and he managed to get us the 3 points. Well, it's 4 defeats in a row for Concord, and you say Dean made quite a few good saves, but they struggled for goals, and that first one, goal today, was first in quite a while apparently.
Yeah, it was, but I was disappointed because, as I say, I didn't think we defended it well enough. At 2-0, I felt we should have managed the game better. I felt we should have kept the ball better, and as I say, we just kept giving it away quite cheaply, and we didn't defend it very well. Good luck to them at the end of the day; they've taken it well, but. You know, as I've said all along, no disrespect to Concord, I can't worry about their performances or their goal ratios or their win ratio. At the end of the day, I've got to worry about what we do. And as I say, we've got to work hard because last weekend just put a real damper on what we was trying to do. As I said all along, nobody goes out to lose a game of football, and 2 defeats last week was a blow to take. So we've got to pick ourselves up. Today's been great, and then we've got to go there on Tuesday and hopefully get something out of that game.
Lovely, thanks so much Ian, and congratulations on the victory. So a 2-1 win for the Saints today away to Concord Rangers. We're back in action on Tuesday down at the Woodspring Stadium against Western-super-Mare, National League South. Kick-off is at 7:45 and let's hope it stops snowing.